Hi, Internet. So I have just watched 2 episodes of Star Trek. I watched The Last Outpost with the introduction of the Ferengi, and I watched Where No One Has Gone Before, which I liked a lot better. I'm combining these into one video because I thought The Last Outpost wasn't really all that interesting. I don't have a lot to say about it. I thought it was another reinforcement of the idea that humanity is basically good and that, Starfleet has people's best interests at heart over somebody like the kind of cartoony, jabbering Ferengi. I don't know if we really needed to know that again. And I think having Q does it better than Ferengi nonsense. That was the first time the Ferengi showed up. I'm much more familiar with Deep Space Nine. But in this episode, Captain Picard, the whole ship gets caught in some sort of thing. And they think that it's the Ferengi ship that they're with that's draining their power. But in reality, the same thing's happening to the Ferengi ship. And it's turns out that it's the planet that they're near. It was the last outpost of an extinct empire. And there was these crystal forms that they shot with their phasers. And then the crystals turned into a dude who then tested the humans and the Ferengi to see which were more worthy. And of course, the Riker saved the day with some ancient Chinese wisdom. I think the Ferengi were really bad. Really bad. And really sexist and gross. Kind of after another episode of people who were not the same, planet unit as the Starfleet people were sexist and gross. Whatever. So, instead, I would like to talk more about Where No One Has Gone Before. I have my laptop over here with the episode titles, so I have a terrible memory, and I have to keep looking at them. I really enjoyed Where No One Has Gone Before. I like that it helps get Wesley more into the crew. I think he's really the only child we have seen on board the Enterprise. And because he's Dr. Crusher's son and Jean-Luc Picard's son, I'm really, really all about that. He's just been sort of thrown into situations or tacked on, and he doesn't feel like a real part of the crew to me. And in this episode, the Enterprise was supposed to be given an upgrade to their engines by some dude named Kaczynski, who turns out to be just kind of a dickhead charlatan. But his companion, the Traveler, was really doing all the work. And the Traveler's kind of like the Doctor in that he has a different understanding of time and space and how they're connected. And, he wouldn't say that he was a time traveler. Or, he wouldn't say that he was from the future. Which really makes me think that whatever he's from, whenever he's from, is just where people have a different idea. Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, spacey stuff. So he was pretty cool. He was, mysterious and interesting and could do stuff. And in this episode, that guy came in to do some sort of engine thing, and they ended up accidentally going into a crazy warp and getting, 300 light years away from where they were supposed to be. I really think I saw this episode when I was a kid because I wholeheartedly thought that the Next Generation was about a ship that got lost and had to find its way home. So I may have seen this episode when it first came out, but not the whole thing, just the parts where they were lost somewhere. And, you know, in 1987, I was 4 or 5 years old when this was on. So, and even in repeats, I would have been really young, probably under 10 or 11. So I may have gotten that impression from this episode, although I don't remember having seen it at all. It just makes sense that I would have seen this episode and come to that, or parts of this episode, and come to that conclusion. But the Traveler, tells Picard that Wesley's really important, and that he's very smart, and Wesley proves himself, and he's not annoying. I've heard from my boyfriend that Wesley Saves the Day is a next-gen trope. But for right now, I'm enjoying it. I like Will Wheaton. I think everyone likes Will Wheaton. He's a likable dude. And it's really interesting. And I liked that everybody's visions. Tasha had her cat. Worf had his pig. And Picard had his grandma. Random crew guy was playing like a chamber concert. It was pretty cool to see what was in the back of everybody's mind while they're so far away from home and their families, what they concentrated on. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. This was the first episode that I think didn't have anything overtly racist or sexist about it. So, good job. I'm liking it. I did see the man dress. I keep thinking about the man dress. The male Starfleet uniform. That's the short sleeves, the one-piece suit with the short sleeves and the very short skirt. I think it's really awkward looking. Not because it's a man in a dress. I'm fairly used to that. But because, I don't know, you have to have teeny arms and teeny legs to look good in, like, what's basically a go-go dancer dress. And have, like, knee-high boots or something. Those dudes do not look good in those dresses. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But if they were, like, full dresses, like floor length or maybe below the knee, that would have looked better. But I think they just look really awkward. And the actors are obviously not used to wearing a spandex dress. So they don't really know how to move in it. And it just doesn't look natural. And if you heard that was my cat. She has a little bit of a cold. And she just hacked up some nice spit. Yeah, kitty. You want to say hi to the people since they just heard you throw up? Yeah? Well, you didn't really throw up. You just sort of spit. Thank you. I was thinking that my videos needed more phlegm. You've provided it. So, I've gone through 3 episodes today. So far, that's the best day I've had. But tomorrow is another day. And now that I've had feedback a little bit on these videos, I'm pretty excited to tweak them in how people want them. And I have a bunch of my friends asking to be guest stars, which is so exciting and awesome, and I can't wait. So hopefully my friend Jill will be on, my friend Amanda. I'm having a New Year's party, so maybe we'll watch an episode and pass the camera around to do a little review on New Year's. I expect everyone will be a little tipsy, so that'll be good. Oh, I want to give a shout out to Il Prosecco from Mianetto. That's delicious. And it kept me going through the Ferengi. The horror that was the Ferengi. So, thank you, Prosecco.